Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, please just signify, just say something that you can hear me, or type something rather. I said say something. I thought we were on a Zoom live. I'm trying to adjust my. If you can hear me, just type. Let me see you that you can hear me. I don't know what is going wrong. So if you can hear me, just type. I've tried to share the link. I'm sorry, my light might go off now. Oh, well, please, if you can hear me, just type something. Let me see the comment. I want to just see your comment. Something. Pardon me, but I'm turning off my light now. All right. I want to see. Um. All right, guys. If you can hear me, please write something. I want to be seeing that you can hear me. Write something. Type something. Put something down on the comment section so I can see that we're all together. People are still joining in. Obviously, we will not be able to wait for everybody, but then if you can hear me, please type something. Why can't I see the comment section? Why can't I see the comment section? Maybe let me try connecting this to my system. Know if it's going to be easier for me to see your comments there. Please type something. Let me see and know that you can hear me. Am I the only one? Can't I see? Why can't I see the comments? I'm waiting for more persons to join in before we continue. Meanwhile, if you can hear me, I don't know if I'm the cause. Can someone just chat, say something on WhatsApp? Let me know if you can hear me. So if you can hear me, just type something. Tell me you can hear me either here or on WhatsApp so that I will know that you can hear me because I can't see any comments. I'm trying to go on YouTube with my system. So I will know if it is from me or, or you guys are not typing. My system might tend to slow down this. Okay, say she can hear me. So I can't even see the video on my YouTube. It's funny. I can't see the video on my YouTube, but then it's okay. We'll continue. Let me disconnect this hotspot so that my. So guys, good evening and welcome to the one of The Voice 1.0. It's actually a privilege having each and every one of us here. Okay, I can hear you. We could hear you. Thank you. I'm just seeing your messages on the group chat. So, without further ado, I would want to welcome in our guest speaker for today so that we can start up this program immediately because we don't have all the time tonight, and this is going to be a long ride. Like, you can trust me, it's going to be a long ride. I mean, not just today, obviously. So we have today, we have tomorrow, we have till 30th of this month, where we're going to be finding out our winner. We're going to be finding out the winner of the competition, which will start next tomorrow. So we are having the training today and tomorrow, and today we're going to be having our undelectable speaker, Mrs. Gift, with us today to take us on a session in public speaking. I'm not going to do much talk, but then if you listen to the voice over video I sent today, the intro video, advertisement video that I read out, I know that we're not talking about someone, a guru. We call her the public speaking guru. That's true. We call her the public speaking guru. So she is an authority in the field. So today I'm so much happy to have each and every one of us on board for this program, and I know she's ready to give us the value that she has for us. So without much ado, I'm going to be welcoming yes, I'm going to be welcoming Mrs. Gift Chinwendo.
All right, thank you very
Welcome,
much, Mama. I appreciate. Thank you. I want to confirm that everybody can hear me. Can you now see the chat? Hello, Mama. Can you see the
I'm
comments in
still
the chat?
struggling to see the chat.
Okay.
I'm still
So
struggling
if
to
it's
see it. I don't know whether
possible,
it's an issue
if
from
it's
my part.
possible for you to see their comments, I really would have loved the possibility of seeing the chats like
Yeah,
in this session. Okay, yes, because I wanted us to
yeah,
bombard this session with lots of comments. Since I can't get to hear your voices, I was hoping that we would at least see your reactions and know how much you're following from this from the comment section here. But guys, if you are, I assume that everybody here is also on the WhatsApp group chat. So I would really love to get your feedback because I am also on the WhatsApp group chat. Keep your feedbacks here because I am hoping that before the end of this session, Value Mama should be able to see the charts here. But also, while you do this here, try as much as possible to drop your feedback in the group chat on WhatsApp. I will be expecting to see your messages when we are done. Just a very quick introduction before I dive into the main stuff for today. I want to believe that you're also with your notepads and writing materials, generally your pen and your jotter or any other thing you're going to be using to write. I hope you are with it. It's cool to listen, but you will need to jot something down. Or if you want to screen record, it's also a very good alternative or option to do this. But make sure you have another source of keeping this particular training session for tonight because you would need it. This training is for those that are looking to win. I know we are not going to have everybody
yeah,
as winners, but if you're looking to win, you want to pay attention to this training tonight. If you are not looking to win, you would be listening to my voice and doing all the things you might be doing. If you are going up and down, it's not time to do that. You know how online sessions can be now. We'll be listening and we'll be doing our stuff. We can even be gisting. This is not time for that. Kindly give me your attention. We are not taking the whole of your night. No, it's not a vigil, but it's something you need. It's something you should have. And I'm ready for you. I've prepared so much for this session. So, guys, we are going to dive into it. Let me just run down what I will be teaching today. I'm going to be giving the introduction to public speaking, a very brief introduction, because I assume that everyone that signed up for this competition has a grassroots understanding of what they are signing up for. So I'm not going to be taking too much time on that. We're going to be looking at how to overcome stage fright because in between the competition, yes, a couple of persons would experience stage fright. And for those of you that have not gone through any public speaking training at all and you have registered for this competition, don't feel like, oh, you have too much competition with those that are already mastered in trainings. No, 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 no. This training from today and tomorrow, I think is going to be a very good way to give you more chances of winning in this competition. So I'm going to deal with how you can overcome stage fright. And if you put these things to practice, definitely, you'd you do better in suppressing stage fright and even overcoming it here. Well, I'm also going to take us through the scoring rubrics, the judging criteria for this competition. So we're going to be looking at possible things that your adjudicators, by adjudicators I mean your judges, would be looking at and expecting that you bring to the table anytime you have to deal with a topic. We'll be looking at that, and then I'll move further to explain different types of speeches that you might encounter. So this is not a sure bankada. It is what they must bring. But you might see some of these things, yes, come out in the course of the competition. Like I said, every example or every and any example I'll be giving has nothing to do with what you see in the competition. They are only related topics. So when I say, for example, you might be asked to give a manifesto speech on why you should be elected to head the women community in your country. And then I give a rundown of what it should look like. That topic is not a part of the topic, okay? So when I give an example of, for example, they ask you to talk about the Nigeria of your dream, it is in no way going to come out like this particular topic. However, we need to use examples that would help you learn and get better understanding of what we're talking about today. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so apart from that, I am also going to be showing you what you should do and what you shouldn't do before, during, and after the public speaking, because there are certain things you should ensure you do before your speech time during the tournament. There are certain things you should do and not do during your presentation. And there are certain things you shouldn't do after your presentation. Yeah, you'll be wondering, what can I do after my presentation and what can't I do after my presentation? I'm going to walk us through all of this. So let's dive right into what public speaking is. You must have heard or seen the video of my bio. I enjoy very interactive sessions. However, because this is a session where I can't get to see your faces and hear your voices, I still want to assume that you're going to pour out your minds about this in the comment section. Public speaking, I wanted to ask, what is public speaking? I was about to do that. Public speaking basically is the act of speaking in public. Yeah, it's that simple. Speaking in public to a group of people. There are lots of definitions, but I like to use this definition because it is as simple and direct as it can be. There is nothing bogus about this explanation. You want to talk to people. As long as you're not talking to yourself, you are public speaking. If you are talking to me in public, not in your bedroom, in private, you are public speaking. We go to a hall and you're expecting 1,000 persons to come and you see only two people, you need to teach. You see only two people come and you start teaching, you are public speaking. It is what it is. Yeah, so I've given you a basics of what you're going to be doing. What are the types of public speaking? So we have types, we have forms. Basically, in types, you see persuasive speeches, You see motivational speeches, you see informative speeches, you see entertainment speeches, and a lot of them, they are even dramatic speeches. Yes, you see people acting and talking. Acting is one way, but there are times when there are kinds of speeches where you are talking but it requires you to act. It's also a type of speech. So what you're going to be doing in the voice competition is going to cover a good number of them. However, they are not going to be grouped as informative speeches. They are going to be under the forms of public speaking. So let's just move to the forms of public speaking where practically you're going to be involved. We have prepared speeches, we have impromptu. So in the voice competition, you might be asked to give a prepared speech, you might be asked to give impromptu speeches, you might be asked to give tabletop speeches, manifesto speeches. I think I have a list of them here so I don't miss out on anything. Business speeches or business speeches or personal speeches. However, in my session for today, remember we have another training tomorrow. I won't be doing all of that. I'm going to just be taking three, only three. So in today's session, I'm going to be taking impromptu speeches, tabletop, and manifesto. Just these three. But before we dive into those three, how can you manage stage fright? I need to treat this before I explain those other ones because most persons will experience stage fright when they're about to go up stage, or when you know that after this person speaks, I'm going to be the next. Or you have your video to record and you're feeling all tensed. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be this? In fact, sometimes if you listen to your video after recording and you feel like you don't like your voice or you don't like your face, you don't like how your cheeks came out. You don't like, for those of us that have cheeks, you don't like how your eye looks, you don't like how your hair came out. You do not have to have that kind of mindset. Please, when it's time to present, present, because we assume that you must have been prepared. So all those doubts and all of that, you don't need it. If you want to suppress stage fright to a very good extent, you might not be able to entirely eliminate it. Yes, but you want to suppress it to an extent where you are speaking, though you know that you are still tense, people do not feel that you are tense. So I've actually been in that shoe. Only me knew how I was feeling inside. Yes, I think this one of the most significant of them all was sometime in 2012 when I had to master ceremony, an international event that had 40 countries come to Nigeria for a competition, a science competition. 40 countries. So you can imagine the kind of hall that would take student representatives, teachers representatives, and stakeholders from 40 countries. Yes, it was massive. They used, as at then, I don't know if there's a bigger hall now, the biggest hall in Abuja. And when we came with the organizing committee from the government house, I looked at the hall. Instantly, I became very tense. In fact, the first day, it was a 3-day event. The first day, I was holding the mic, but I knew I was shaking. And I asked the coordinator, so this is how, after I had to leave the stage for the keynote speaker to come up. Like, oh my God, I really flopped. See the way my hands were shaking on the mic. And it's like, we didn't notice anything. I said my voice was shaking. We didn't notice anything. So my voice was shaking, my hands were shaking, but I was still smiling. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome on stage this honor, but me like this, I was shaking. Like I was shaking. I even thought it was obvious, but it wasn't. So guys, when you are about speaking or when you're speaking and you feel like, oh, you're so tense, you can't carry this thing. 4 minute speech is too much, 3 minute speech is too much, or whatever number of time they give. You're going to have a rundown from the adjudicators of all of these things, how many minutes you have. It's not my duty to do that. But regardless of how long, because you might feel like, oh, this thing is too long, but I cannot do it. regardless of how long. If you are tensed, please take a deep breath. If you feel too
Mm-hmm.
tense, take note of what I'm saying. You are speaking, you are upstage, and you're feeling too tense. Don't rush. You see this thing we do when we are speaking, we want to rush like they are pursuing you. Avoid it, because when you are tensed and you are rushing,
Yeah.
people don't hear what you're saying. You won't know. You feel you're talking, but people are not listening. People are not hearing, rather. They could be listening, but they won't hear you. So when you see that you are tensed, avoid speaking too fast. And sometimes it's okay, take like 3 seconds and breathe. But when you are taking that 3 seconds break, do it like you are acting. Let them not know that something is wrong. So for instance, I'm kind of trying to think of something off stage, like I am on stage and I need to take a breath. And I'm like, hmm. They don't know that I'm resting. Oh. Me like this, I'm resting. But when I smile, you will not be concentrating on my smile while I am giving myself time to think or relax. Another thing you should do is make sure, guys, prepare on time or prepare in time. Don't be late. It's an online program. You would be tempted to be late. You just feel so relaxed. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. It is with me. My phone is with me. And you know that it's an online program. For instance, it's going to be a video session. We're going to have audio sessions, audio recordings, and video sessions. It's a video session. You're going to be timed. Remember, it's a competition. If you miss your time, you are out for that round. It's a zero disqualification. No this and no peace. Don't say because it's online, you're going to do it as you like. You video, you delete. You video, you delete. Help yourself. See this thing I'm saying. Take note. When it's time, make sure you are ready before time, not when it's time. Yes, before time. Remember, you need to look smart. I don't think dressing is part of the requirements, but just know that you need to look smart. Yes, I am saying this. So because it's an online record, I'm not saying you should go and do remove your hair, do one expensive thing,
Mm-hmm.
wear suits, big suits, wear tie. If you want to, it's going to be nice because you will look good. But you can still look very simple and look okay. Not that when you come up stage, you now start doing like this. You start doing like this for us in the video. You start doing your button, adjusting your button, or you be raising your sleeves. People do that. I have seen people do that online. Some of them do it because they are tense and they want to relieve some form of pressure. And then you see them doing this, you see them scratching their faces. Please don't come and do that. It's a competition, remember. Today, wherever you are, I wish this was even a Zoom session. And we'll be seeing that people will be doing this intermittently. But when it is time for the competition, we need composure. You need to look your best. It's online, no, but you need to look your best. By looking your best, I didn't mean remember now, don't go and get tired. But then look good. Just look good. Just look good. Yeah. Also, you also need to know that when you want to go on stage, whatever will make you feel pressured, avoid it. Tell the people around you that, oh, it's time for me to make this video. Give me some time. I don't want distractions. I am making this video. I'm not alone in this house. But whoever I am with in this house knows that it is time for me to come up live. No distractions. It's my time. So you won't be recording and somebody comes and tells you, are you not hearing that mommy is calling you in the kitchen? Alert them in time so that they don't distract you, because your timers would not want to know whether they are calling you to come and cook pepper soup for them at that time. Let them know when it is time for your session every day. They should know that you are going to be busy between this time and the other time. Also, if you need to ease yourself, if you need to use the washroom or the restroom, use it before time. You're going to feel very uncomfortable, your tummy starts rumbling, or you feel like going to
Yeah.
Do all of that before time, please. See, all of these things are things that public speakers always do. So before this session, I planned I was going to see a movie today, and when I'm seeing the movie, I'll be eating what I made. I don't really like it, but I had to make it. So I said, oh, when I'm seeing a movie, I'll be eating. But because I had a session, I had to I had to eat on time. Yes. And don't drop my movie one side. Yes. And then when I was seated, I remember that I needed to take water. I went to take my water before my session. It's still okay to drink water in between my session because I'm training. But if I am having a competition, a speech competition, I will not. I wouldn't be having a competition and I'll be drinking water, except drinking water is part of the creative idea I planned to use in my script or during my presentation, except that. But it's unacceptable for you to be in a tournament on stage during your competition and you're drinking water. So all of these things, don't be thirsty when you are speaking. You shouldn't be. If you are thirsty when you're speaking, it's your fault. So whatever needs to would make you feel comfortable, arrange your presentation spot before time. It is discipline. Don't tell me you were too busy, you had a very busy day. Plan yourself ahead of time. That is just it. When it's time for the competition, we don't want to hear excuses. Network. Many people will use network as excuse. Oh my God. Sorry, if at that point in time that your educator say, oh, Damilola Chukwuemeka, your time starts now, and you start speaking, and then for some people it's true network here, but many people use that as an excuse and do their thing. Yes, because they're looking for the perfect video, perfect audio to send it, and oh, sorry, network. I was recording, it stopped, they cancel. I was recording, I'm sorry, they cancel. Or during a video, they turn off their mic, they turn off their cam and their mic. Don't do all of that. Get prepared ahead of time and shoot your shot. Whether it looks perfect or sounds perfect to you or not, you just have to do what you have to do. Okay? Another thing is don't delay, please. Avoid delay. I think I said that I said that in this explanation, so I'm not going to waste time on that. Avoid anything that's going to delay you. Just avoid it. It's not good. Yes, I need to say this, guys. This is a competition. You have to have the right attitude. Hmm? You have to have the right attitude. It helps in reducing tension. You would ease yourself. See, when you would ease yourself
Mm-hmm.
or you will save yourself the risk of feeling too bad when you just have the right attitude of this is a competition. I might win, I might not win. The truth is everybody cannot win. But it's plausible that you decided to attempt this. Many persons can speak, but they feel, oh, competition, no, 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 I'm not that good. So for the fact that you even feel that you can give it a try, it's plausible. It's very commendable. But please do not take it like if it is not me going to the finals, I am not going to take it. In fact, when you have that mindset, you are increasing pressure. You are increasing pressure. So be prepared. This is I think I call it my ultimate stage fright suppressing hack. This one, this one thing I'm going to say, preparation. Preparation is key. Don't say, oh, they're going to give us impromptu speeches. How are we going to prepare? All those books you've been reading. Sorry, I don't know if you're hearing the dog sound. Ignore, kindly ignore. I can't do anything about it if it's interfering with my video. I'll just try to be more audible. You have to be prepared, guys. There's something about preparation. This is a tournament. You might see impromptu speeches. In preparation, I don't mean by only content. Content is number one. If you have the opportunity to prepare for 1 minute, it is still something. Concentrate. That 1 minute you have to prepare. They tell you 2 minutes or 3 minutes you have to prepare. They give you a topic. Just concentrate. At that point, what you need to do is look for the key points. What do you need in this speech? Don't start writing long grammar and think you're going to use it and be reading word for word. Don't do that. But when you are prepared, just key points that you can just glance through and then you prepare. It would suppress that thing that is disturbing you. And just go with the right attitude, guys. You will also suppress stage fright. Go with the right attitude. Another thing I like to tell my students is this: nobody wants to see you fail. Hmm? Nobody wants to see you fail. So why am I scared? Why am I tensed? Why do I feel too anxious? Why do I feel like I'm
Yes,
not good
just
enough? Why do I feel like, sorry? Okay. So sorry for that. I thought I heard something or you were saying something. So when you are feeling very tense or insecure about the quality of your speech, what's going to be like, you need to ask yourself, the people that are going to listen to me, do they really want me to fail? In most cases, they don't want you to fail. You're just tensed. And even if they want me to fail, do I want them to get what they want? Mm-mm. So the thing is, it's time for me to deliver. I've got to deliver. For me, I am not backing off. It is better I don't come up stage than to come up stage and not deliver. Yes. So as long as you are there to do your thing and go. Yes. Don't bother too much. If they give you a feedback, if you have another opportunity, do what you have to do and do it well. That is it. Okay, so let's move on. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but if I am too fast, please find a way to leave a comment here and in the group chat on WhatsApp. Since I can't leave and be on WhatsApp, our moderator, Value Mama, would let me know, reply to tell me if I am too fast or I'm I'm doing fine with the pace. Okay, so let me take you through the judging rubrics. What the
hmm.
judges would be expecting from you in this competition. I'm going to take you through that. A few seconds, please. Okay, so we have the introduction. The judges expect that you give a very good introduction when you start. So in explaining this, I'm going to be giving you three parts of a speech. International standards. Okay, so I saw that the host muted my mic. I had to unmute myself. I don't know how that happened. Bali Mama, are we together? Okay, I unmuted it now. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Okay, so international standard
Hope
of public.
I've unmuted you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Please pardon me. I don't know what I think.
Oh, it's
Yes,
fine.
yes, my phone is kind of hanging, so I'm trying to get the whole. All right.
All right, so back to business. International standard of public speaking would give you three basic types of a speech. So it is expected that in every speech, these three things are there. It still goes with content, with writing, these three things. However, there are broader explanations of these requirements or these necessities in speaking, what your speech should contain. But let's stick to these three because they are the basic necessities. Introduction, your body, and conclusion. IBC, IBC, introduction, body, conclusion. We've seen that in school, informal and formal writing. Then what's the types of no. The characteristics of a letter. A letter should contain an introduction, the body, that's the main write-up, and the conclusion. Same goes with public speaking. Same goes with speaking. If you don't want to add public speaking, you should have a beautiful introduction. See, I call the introduction the icing on the cake. You know, the icing on the cake is the first thing you see. Hmm? It is the first thing you see when you present a cake that is iced, that is coated. And then most times it looks beautiful. It makes the cake look beautiful. If they finish baking a naked cake, some of them look smooth and all fine, brownish or milkish, yes. But when they now ice and do all the shenanigans, all those mege, you tend to appreciate it more. Yes. So that's how I see, that's what I call the introduction of a speech. Like it's my own branding for introduction when I'm teaching. You do not want to start and people are bored. I cannot be coming up stage now. And then I'll just come like that. Hello everybody. I want to talk about why mothers are better than fathers. How will you start like that? It's your introduction, but it's too dull. Your introduction should carry energy. I preach energy from start to finish. Energy in introduction, energy in body, energy in conclusion. However, the energy in your introduction should be on point. Yes, it should be on point. And in your introduction, let me give you this tip. Let me give you this tip, guys. Know this and know wisdom. Know this and be on your way to finals. Know this and win the voice competition. Try to start with a quote. It's not only one. I'm going to give you a variety so that you can use them interchangeably. Yes, you're not going to be speaking just once. I'm not talking to people that I'm not hoping. I'm hoping you guys break and give the judges tough time to know who to take off. So start with a very good quote. Just look for something as it relates to the topic. Don't go and give them any quotes that from wherever that doesn't relate to what you're going to be saying. Something that relates to what you're going to be saying. Start with that. And then, sorry. Okay, so start with that. You can also start with storytelling. They give you a topic. They give you a topic. You don't just want to, good afternoon, everybody. My topic is this. No, don't start that way. It's going to be boring. You could tell a little story that also relates. Everything I'm saying, please, should relate to the topic. Don't just talk because you want to talk. Everything should relate to the topic. So you could give a short story and then you enter the main stuff. It is not every time that you have to give the title of what you're saying. Sometimes you don't even talk about the title of your speech until the end, or you might not even say the title at all. But people, make sure when you don't mention the title or the topic during your speech, people understand that, oh, this is what he or she is talking about. Make sure you do that. Your introduction can also come with appreciating your organizers, appreciating your audience, asking a question. Appreciation is one thing, asking a question is another thing. You could come up stage and say, has anyone ever fallen in public before? And if you have, please, somebody should tell us how you felt. And after a while, you're like, oh, it seems like everybody is shy. Nobody wants to say the truth. Well, I'm going to speak for myself. The last time I fell in public, I had the strength to stand, but I couldn't stand. Shame. And then you continue your speech. You start with a question and you enter. This is another way. So you need to try out, or sometimes you could start with a historical explanation of whatever event that happened. You could start with in 1973. But please, when you're doing this, make sure you are detailed. Most historical expressions that you want to do introductions with are often facts. You're proving yourself to your audience that you know stuff. So if you want to do history in your introduction, it's always beautiful. People enjoy it. It's still like storytelling, but it is pure history. In 1973, it was said that the British Empire had full access to the South in Nigeria. Do you know what happened? My forefathers explained to my grandfather that upon gaining full access to Nigeria, specifically the South, they didn't allow any village head have access to their oil well. And this was how illegal bunkering started in the South. People felt really agitated, people felt really angry that they had this kind of natural resource, but they had very little to show for it when it comes to standard of living. And this gave rise to the beginning of what do they call that in oil bunkering. Yes. So you just start that history and people are like, where is this one going to? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to be showing you why I decided to join the EFCC and fight for just one geopolitical zone in Nigeria, the South. You started with a little story. We didn't know your topic, but you started with a topic that related to what these guys face, these people in the South face. And by doing that, you introduce your story. By the time you do that, people just want to keep listening to you. Yeah. So that's it for introduction. Choose your style. Find a very beautiful way to start. It's not every time you come and say, good afternoon, everybody. My name is so, and today I'll be talking about this. It's too conventional. It's too popular. We don't want to always hear that. You're also going to be, remember, I'm talking about what you'll be judged with during the course of this competition. You're also going to be evaluated based on your central theme and speech value. Your central theme, the topic of your speech. What's it like? Let's take this, let's equate this to be the body of your speech. Yes. And your speech value. What are you bringing to the table in the whole gist now? How valuable is what you're saying? Do you understand? You want to make sure that wherever you're saying, that there is content. I mean quality content. You're not just talking because you want to talk. You're talking either to entertain, you're talking either to motivate. What is the aim? What is the thing? What there should be, there should be some value, there should be heavy weight, there should be a weight attached to what you're saying. And that is basically why your judges will say, oh, I am placing this person over this person. In this person's introduction, it was cool. But when he or she got to the body, there was no weight, there was no value. She was just struggling. She was just struggling to talk. She was just struggling to find content. She was struggling to say something. But then I like how she started. There is no speech value. So please, guys, take note of that. Thirdly, you're going to be judged on logical flow. See, when I'm listening to people speak, I want to really understand how does this person think. Listen, your judges would rate you based on what you are bringing to the table. If the speech has anything to do with mothers are more valuable assets in the family, explain. Now, your judge is not going to assume that, yes, because I think mothers are more valuable, I'm going to support those that say mothers are more valuable. Mm. Or because I am thinking in this direction, that is how you should think. They are not going to judge you based on that. They are going to judge you based on how they see you think. So they are dropping personal bias and waiting for what you bring to the table. You need to sound smart. You need to sound knowledgeable. People that like to read usually have beautiful logical flows because they are vast. They've read so many things, they've read so many thoughts. When you read a book, you're reading the thoughts of people. So after this tournament, you would want to go back to reading if you don't like reading. Reading gives you a very broad perspective to life and different issues. So when you see topic A, you can now relate to something you read somewhere, including billboards, content on billboards, and those things, those papers sometimes they give to you. So your logical flow should be sound. However, if you think, oh, I don't know too much, flow with what you have. Your logical flow could be inspired by what you see around you. Oh, I like the brightness of this light. And they give you a topic, and you want to start imagining how the people that manufacture bulbs, how do they do it? And then you begin to give beautiful analysis of your imagination as it relates to the topic. You would wow your judges. Mhm. Now let's look at another one. Your body to speech synchronization. It basically looks at your poise, your confidence, and gesticulation. So you are talking with your mouth, but your body is responding. If you watch, this is a live broadcast. I'm sitting, I'm speaking. However, did you notice that I've not been just in one position? There are times when I have to even adjust because of what I'm saying, like I'm doing now. Funny. So they want to look at how your speech is correlating, how it synchronizes, how it connects with what you are saying, with your poise. By poise, we mean your coordination, your comportment, with your gesticulations, yes, and your confidence. So it's not just about talking. You have a beautiful voice, but you don't know how to gesticulate. Sorry, it's a competition. We are looking at all of these things. All of them carries marks. You might be very good with your voice, good grammar, nice accent. You can speak well, but you're talking and you're just like this. So in this presentation today, you're going to learn a lot of things. Basically, I am somebody that likes to speak. I like to do this. I like to connect to friends. I like to relate with people. But a couple of things pisses me off. I don't like it when people steal. I don't like it when people are dishonest. I don't like broken promises. I don't like broken trust because broken trust can never be regained. Like you're talking and you're just stiff, but you have a beautiful voice. It's not enough. Please gesticulate. There should be some sort of confidence, exude confidence, display confidence. When you're speaking, remember what I said, even if you're tensed, as part of your gesticulations, smiling is part of it. You cannot be giving me your name and you're not smiling. I tell my students this. Why? My name is Gift Chiwendu Tazamu. I am a public speaker, a master of ceremony. I'm introducing myself. I want to smile. It's not like my name is Gift Chiwendu Tazamu. I'm not saying you should be laughing anyhow. I'm not saying you should do that. But there's this courage that comes with saying your name. I love when people say your name and say it beautifully. Say your name like it's your name. You own your name. Little things count. This is a competition. Just know that everything counts. You know the thing. We are looking for where to mark you down. Mhm. So if you think that is by your sweet voice alone, I am looking for where just stay like this and be talking smartly. Your face is bold. It is not enough, my dear. We need to see you sound confident. We need to see you gesticulate. So let me move on so I don't overshoot time. We're also going to look at creativity. This is key. This is key. And creativity is usually seen at best in your introduction and your conclusion. Yes, in your introduction and your conclusion. I'm not going to talk much about your conclusion, but creativity basically wants to talk about how you are able to express your mind in your speech and during your speech. How do you begin? Like I said, you could do quotes, you could do a short story, you could do appreciation, you could do question and answering, history. Yes, you could do all of that. But then creativity wants to see how you use it effectively. Are you going to sound shy when you're talking about something? Are you going to put us in suspense and then leave us there? You know, some people like to do that thing. It's creative, it's beautiful. So you need to, creativity do not require that you do the usual. If we expect that they say white is white, talk about this topic, white is white. And then the conventional, the usual white is white topic, for example, is that you come and say, growing up as children, we learned that there are different colors. But one color that you hardly hear that people hate is white. White is transparent. White is stainless. When you hold something white, you can see clearly. I love white. My mom loves white. Everybody loves white. In heaven, when people wear white clothes, it signifies that they are clean. White signifies purity. White is this, white is that. You begin to give different classifications and characteristics of white. Basically, anybody will do that. But if I want to be very creative, white is white. I could come and tell you that people all over the world know what white is. So when you ask a typical Nigerian man, show me white, he brings out a white paper. But I'm going to beg to differ that my white might not be your white. Yes. So for some persons, they say if I have to get success, get to a ladder of climb the ladder of success, I must never compromise because purity demands that we do not compromise at any level. Please note that everything I'm going to be saying here has nothing to do with my belief system. I am giving, this is art, I am doing art. It's a speech and it's for content. So if I tell you, oh, there was a day I got drunk, I drank, I smoked, and I felt so good. When I say all of that, it doesn't mean I drink, it doesn't mean I smoke. So this is content we are generating. It's public speaking. It has nothing to do with my person. So let's get back to white is white. I'm just saying this for reference sake. And when you hear some people, don't judge them by what they are saying. Sometimes it's just fake cooked up stories. And then I come to tell you that my own definition of white is white might not be your definition because I understand that my white is not stained when I am climbing the ladder to success and I have to compromise at some times because if I do not compromise, I wouldn't get to where I want. So as long as I get there, it is my white. Establishing or getting to where I want is fulfillment for me. So if you say no, it stains your white and makes it black, did you get results? So the truth is, white is white depending on what definition you give to it. It has no general concept. My white might not be your white. Yes. What happens to people with color blindness? Do you now have to take them away? So this is creativity. This is me trying to make you believe that white is only what I see. You know, they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. It's not about what the majority thinks now. If the majority thinks that I am ugly, hmm? If the majority thinks I am ugly, and one person thinks that, oh, this person is, she's not ugly, she's beautiful. I cannot, like, when it comes to fairness, I cannot be generally termed ugly, certified ugly. Yeah, because another person saw the reverse. So you need to think differently. If they give, I am not too sure, but if a general topic is given and everybody, it happens in competition, has to speak on one topic, think differently. How can I sound better? And when you're thinking differently, don't overdo. There is how you want to sound abstract. You will not be saying what doesn't make sense. So avoid doing that, please. Let's move. Please, value mama, when should I stop? Give me a deadline time. I always like that. When am I supposed to end this session? Can you hear me, please? Okay, let me continue. I guess the network is still hanging. Okay, I guess I'll continue. Her network
It's
is still
9:30.
hanging. You said? Oh, that's enough time. That's enough time. Thank you. All right, so we've talked about creativity. We'll be looking at vocal delivery. We have four more to go: vocal delivery and grammar. This is very important. You are in a competition that has to do with speaking, that has to do with English language. You have to have a very beautiful vocal delivery, and your grammar, of course, should be sound. We do not want you to be calling present tense as past tense, and we do not want a mix of what is supposed to be past tense to be present. Make sure that your sentence structure is good. This is why you shouldn't rush. Mm, don't rush. Do not be too slow because it can make your audience very bored. Do not be too slow because your adjudicators, your judges are also going to be bored. Listen, guys, be audible. You should be audible. In vocal delivery has to do with how audible you sound, how nice you sound, and then your grammar, of course, how well your sentences are structured. Know when to give your pauses, know when to, if it's a question, ask it like a question. Don't ask a question. For instance, you're asking, how many of you have eaten today? Imagine me saying, how many of you have eaten today? And I'm keeping my face and I ask it as if I'm not asking a question. People might not respond well. But when you say, can I ask a question, please? How many of you have eaten today? How many? You want to sound really convincing. Just make sure you are not faking it. Do not fake. You don't have to phonerize. Phoner is not the thing. Phonerizing is not the thing. In vocal delivery, in having a very good vocabs and good grammar, you don't have to phoner. But the thing is, you have to sound good. You have to sound clear. You have to sound nice. You have to sound sweet, but natural. Don't fake it. Please avoid faking it. Be yourself. Be yourself. I always preach, be yourself. Let's go to the next one. Persuasion. You need to persuade your judges that what you're saying is true. What you're saying is right. What you're saying has to make sense to them. It's not, I'm not saying you're not going to make sense at all, or some persons will not make sense. But you need to be persuasive. At the point where you were speaking, I'm like, okay, oh, I see, oh, wow. You just need to wow them. Your aim is to make sure that they clearly understand the topic that you were given. And you need to clearly show them how and why you have done justice to the topic you were given. If you do not persuade them, you're not getting a good score. Time management. Time management is key. Let's break this down. If you have a 3 minute speech, let's break this down. Make sure your introduction doesn't exceed, for a 3 minute speech, your introduction shouldn't exceed 40 seconds. The main body takes more time. You can conclude in 30 seconds. Give the main body enough time because that is where the main content is. Your conclusion should take other things. I'm going to explain conclusion when I get there. But make sure you manage time properly. Do not spend too much time on your introduction talking about what you will do, and then they say in or whichever timer you get, or they tell you 1 minute more, and then you start rushing to talk about the main thing. Be very conscious. Many people lose focus and start talking about this one, start talking about that one, start talking about a lot of things that they are not supposed to say when they've not even hit the nail on the wall. Please avoid that. Avoid too much explanation on one thing. For instance, you're talking about the effects of underdevelopment in Nigeria, the effects of underdevelopment. And you've told us that you're going to be talking about three key effects of underdevelopment in Nigeria. And you mentioned the first. You have a 5 minutes presentation to make. You've spent 1 minute on introduction, remaining 4 minutes. And in the first effect, you spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes have gone. The second one, you spend 4 minutes and they tell you you have 1 more minute. You've not concluded, you've not said the third. You see that you have to rush. So you need to be very conscious. Do not overflog an issue. Say what you have to say and move on. In this competition, competitions don't give too much time. You don't have the luxury of 10 minutes, 15 minutes. No, it's going to be around 3 minutes, 4 minutes. If you even have a 5 minute speech, I don't think so. I doubt. Most times it's usually between 3 and 4 minutes. So you see that you don't have too much time. But if you have 5 minutes, it's more than enough time. But you would still see that people overshoot. Avoid anything, avoid that thing that will make you to flog an issue too much, and then you start rushing when you've not said. By the time you're done, you'll be wishing, oh, how I wish I said this. Time management is very important. Very important. Let's move to the next one. Link to topic and take home. So all these things you've been saying, do they relate to the topic? I've always made emphasis to this when I was talking about different ways of doing your introduction. Your judges are going to evaluate you based on how everything you've been saying, how does it relate to the topic? How does it link to the topic? So you gave a story about the elephant that sorry guys, I had a call, so I had to end it. You talked about the elephant that was disturbing your village in a topic that has to do with, let's say, why school children are not in school in Nigeria. How does that relate? How? So it's not because you know so many stories and then they give one topic, you just jump back and you want to explode your knowledge bank on these topics. No, it has to relate. Yes. And then there should be a take home in every speech, no matter how funny the speech is. By take home, I don't mean to say you have to say, so I this is my take home. My take home to you today, you don't have to say it, but your speech should carry a lesson. There should be a lesson attached to your speech. For example, I am talking about determination, just determination. And I talk about this story, talk about a girl who didn't have this, but she later became this. And I'm saying her story made me see a lot of meaning a lot of things about life that I never saw. It made me understand that regardless of our background, we have the will. We still possess the will to whether or not we want to succeed. We still have the opportunity to see what is with us and before us and make best use of it. Her story has greatly inspired me to see that I am very opportune compared to I've always seen myself. Do you know that this thing I'm saying about myself, that the lessons I drew from her story, is already giving you your take home? So I don't have to tell you, the take home to you is this. Do you understand? At the point where you're drawing lessons, it's already a take home. So make sure there is a take home, regardless of how unclear or how indirect the topic is. There must be a take home, and everything you say must relate to the topic. Lastly, in what your judges will be looking at is your conclusion. Hmm. I don't joke with my conclusions, guys. I do not joke with my conclusions. You know why? This is what you'll be remembered for. Only remembered, only remembered by what you have done. I don't know if you know that. In public speaking, I always remember that song. My conclusion is that for me. So people have been so distracted pressing their phones. And it's time for me to conclude and leave the stage. I want to leave you remembering me. You could also conclude, you know, those examples I gave you for introduction, you can use them for your conclusion. You can conclude with a story, a quote too. You could conclude with a question. Yes, you could conclude with a motivational talk. You could conclude with appreciation. Similar to your introduction, you could conclude, but make sure it is done beautifully. Make sure you sound really creative when you are concluding. It is important. When I mean it is very important, guys, it is very important. So I'm going to give a recap, coach. Okay. Before I give my recap, let me dive into what is expected in your impromptu speech. I'm going to do this in the next 10 minutes. We can't take questions. Is Value Mama here, please? Let me know whether they could type and I'll take the question. Okay, I don't think she's here, so I'll just continue. You're going to have impromptu speeches. A second, please. Okay, guys. So today I said I was going to explain impromptu, tabletop, and manifesto. In impromptu,
I think we should be able to take questions. Yes, we should be able to take questions. They are working on this. Oh, Jesus, what is wrong with my WhatsApp?
okay. All right. Thanks for bringing me back. I was backstage for a moment. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Am I back, please?
Guys, my network is really hanging, and
Oh,
I don't
sorry
know
about that.
what
Can
the problem
everybody
could
still
be
hear
from
me,
here,
please? If
but
you can-
it's logged her out, so I'm trying to add her back. Now, I think people should be able to comment. Someone has been working on the comments and the channel on the stream all this while to see if we could um make the comment section visible. Gift, so sorry about that. I don't know what is going on with my phone. My phone is just hanging terribly. Oh,
Okay, no problem. But I'm live
guys,
now.
please
I'm live
just hold
now.
on in a little bit. My phone is hanging and it's really, really messing things up for me.
Okay, sorry about that. But I believe everyone can hear me, right? All right. Please, can you guys go to the group chat on WhatsApp and say you can hear me, please?
I don't know, but I feel like it's been worked on. The video was private, so it wasn't able to display comments. But now I've kind of removed it from private to public. So they should be able to comment, drop their comments now.
Okay. So should I go on? Should I go on, please? Can I get comments on WhatsApp in the group? I'm struggling to hear Value Mama. Okay, so they said they could hear me, so I'm going to continue. Three things we are going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to be doing that in 10 minutes. Yes, I still have about 14 minutes. So I'll do this in 10 minutes. And Coach Chijioke will do justice to the rest by tomorrow. In impromptu speeches, you do not have ample time to prepare for these speeches. You are given a topic and you are speaking about it right on the spot. In some cases, you might have just 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, but you have very limited time, little or no time to prepare. Yes, some online events might just give you for one or two exigencies. They might give it 2 minutes. Or when a speaker is speaking, they announce the next person's topic. And if it's a 3 minutes presentation, it means you have just 3 minutes to prepare. Immediately the person is coming down, you are going up for your presentation. That's impromptu for you. Impromptu will test your knowledge base. Oh, how vast are you with words? How can you think on the spot? It wants to know how you respond to emergencies. It wants to know how how much you know and how can you withstand pressure. Impromptu has the capacity to bring up stage fright more than prepared speeches. Because in prepared speeches, you have the time to do research if you want, you have the time to rehearse in front of the mirrors, in front of friends, get evaluations. What have you done well? What have you not done? What should you improve and what should you do? What should you maintain for the things you've done well? But in impromptu, you don't have any time to do that one. Just go right in, go down. But for some persons, they do better in impromptu. They prefer impromptu speeches because they feel like no matter how much time they take preparing, they will still do the same thing. So there's nothing to get scared about impromptu. In impromptu, please be yourself. Imagine that someone sees you on the road and asks you a question, you would definitely respond. That is how you should see impromptu speeches. Don't say, because it's a competition, oh, this thing is going to be hard. Oh. Imagine that someone is asking you a question on the road and you just have to give an answer, you just have to say something. But make sure that regardless of whether it's impromptu or not, you are working with time. Many persons will be giving impromptu speeches, and before you know it, 1 minute plus, they are done. They don't know what else to say. Avoid it. The same tactics you use, everything I've said, Think of, oh, how do I share my introduction? Should I just tell a story that relates to the topic to buy time since I don't have too much content? Yeah, you need to do that. If you feel you might not last 1 minute, find a story to tell as it relates to the topic. It makes you sound better and it keeps your audience in check. It's a better way of approaching impromptu. Impromptu shouldn't be done with too much anxiety. It should be seen just like every other speech. Yes. So you're going to give impromptus definitely in this tournament. But I want you to see it just like every other speech. I want you to see that it is not something that should get you too worked up. Attack the topic as it is coming. Use what you know. Think, look around you. When you're trying to prepare for impromptu, let me give you a fast way to tackle impromptus. When you're preparing for impromptu speeches, don't start writing long notes. Just have it in your head. You might not even have a pen and paper to write anything. But when I get a topic, oh, talk about climate change. So what comes to my mind, probably when I'm walking up stage or when I'm coming, of course, you're not just going to stand and climate change and you start talking climate change. You have few seconds, or if you have 1 minute, beautiful. What is climate change? So this is what I'm going to be talking about. In my head, I just scan through. I'm not preparing to find a definition, but this is what I'm thinking that I'm going to. What is climate change? When did we start talking about climate change? How was the world before and after and now? So I've said this in like 4 seconds or 5 seconds. Do you understand? So it's what I'm going to make sure I look at. And then, of course, there's an introduction, there's a conclusion. All these things I mentioned is my body, the body of the speech. You just need to scan through your head, what and what should I hammer? Because when you dive right in, you throw away introduction, you don't break down some points. 1 minute you finish talking and the judges are going to judge you because you did not use your time well. Time management, like I read, is part of your criteria. So if you are given 3 minutes and you speak for 1 minute, 21 seconds, it's 4. If it's 10 marks for time management and you speak for 1 minute, 21 seconds in a 3 minute speech, I'm going to give you a 4 in time management because it was poorly done. But if you speak for in a 3 minute speech for 2 minutes, 50 seconds, you have 10 minutes, 10 seconds left. It's not bad. Or if you speak for a 3 minute speech, you speak for 3 minutes, 2 seconds, and they tell you time up, and you added just 2 seconds, it's not bad. But make sure you by 2 minutes, 50 something seconds, you should have left. It is perfect. It's very okay. 2 minutes, 50 something seconds. Adjudicators will tell you whether they are going to give you a grace of 30 seconds for you to do 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I don't know. They will tell you that one. But make sure you tackle impromptu just like every other speech. Don't say because it's impromptu, I didn't prepare, I cannot speak for 3 minutes. No. And then the second one before we go to the last one is tabletop speeches. Table topics. When you hear tabletop, TOP, the full name is table topics. And they tell you, for example, they tell you if I were a boy, I would. It is expected that you complete, choose anything. If I were a boy, I would make sure I treat every female like humans. I mean, just like myself. In Africa, and then my story begins. In Africa, women are seen and most known to be the minority. And then I go on and on to explain why that is the stance I would take if I was to be a boy, or if I were to be a boy rather. So if I were to be a boy, I would do this. So I'm taking the stance of like a women activist or a woman rights activist if I were to be a boy. You just have to find a way of giving yourself what you want in table topics. So they are giving you it's like an open check. Do what you want with this topic. But this is the topic, oh, do justice to this topic. They want to see how table topics brings out the creativity in you. You have to be very creative in table topics. Very creative. And people usually say, ah, these things are complex. This is complex. It's not complex anything. You're just saying complexity. It most times comes in sentence forms. It's not complex. You just see the topic and understand the topics. Guys, it's a general principle. Understand the topic. Don't just start talking and be giving educators hard time. I am okay. For example, you have as a president, as the president of California, I will ride in convoys every make your choice. Now, I might want to tackle this topic as the president of California. I'll ride in convoys every, you could say every month, but I might want to be creative and say I'll ride in convoy once, at most once. That is if I would ever ride in a convoy, because I do not fancy convoys. I do not think people want to take my life. So I did not dispute the topic because the topic that was given. So I gave an answer. There is a possibility of riding in a convoy, right? Yes. So even if you want to choose one month, why do you have to? So it now goes to explain. See, let's break table topics. Why do you choose this side? And as you have chosen it, what will you make of it? Are you seeing how I'm thinking? When you think like this, you are generating content, you are buying time for your speech. So understand your speech and look at how am I going to tackle this speech? In what line am I going to tackle it? That's basically it. So when you see all those kind of topics, don't feel, oh, what does it mean? Give it your meaning, but let it not be out of point. And lastly, manifesto speeches. You know what a manifesto is? It's like an outline saying what you want, what you have to offer. A manifesto explains what you are bringing to the table. It is mostly political. In For aspirants of political positions, you see them give manifestos, political manifesto speeches. Yeah, where they come and tell people, oh, this is what I'm going to do if you elect me to be your president. If you elect me to be your governor, I will do this. So if you see a speech like that during this competition, they ask you, give a manifesto speech or give a speech explaining why you want to, why you should be voted as the next president of Nigeria in 2023. When you are trying to answer that question, please don't just rush because you know it's easy. You've heard lots of politicians say a lot of things. What should you say? In my head, remember, have your outline in your head. If you do not have a pen, fine, or a jotter, but have it in your head. So you see the topic. Oh, I might want to start with what Nigeria has passed through in my manifesto. So let's say it's a governorship election and I want them to vote for me as the governor of Oyo State. What has Oyo State been like in the past years? My outline. I'm going to give a rundown of what Oyo State. How has been the progress from one tenure of governors to the other? What is the problem in Oyo State? I list the problems. What solutions am I bringing? So you have some problems you list. Remember, you're not going to just dive into, it's going to be childish and too conventional to say, if you vote me to be the governor, I am going to construct good roads. I will provide good water, quality water, potable water. I'm going to build schools, well-furnished hospitals, enough equipment. I'm going to give financial aid to farmers. Don't just dive right into that. It will be more creative for you to talk about in few seconds. You don't have to use 1 minute. In the past years, Oyo State has been known for very little progress. In fact, in the entire 36 states development plan and ranking, we have been ranked number 25 out of 20, out of 36. It shows that we are lagging behind, and this calls for urgent need of solutions, like people that are solution driven. We also have constant repetition of very poor education, a poor education system, poor this one, lack of well-equipped hospitals, bad road networks, our farms are not producing, farmers lack access to seed capitals, and all of that. This has been a pain in the necks of every Oyo State citizen. If you ask anybody, this one will say this, you just talk about all of those basics. But I strongly believe that my solution plan will bring a lasting solution to the problems faced by Oyo. First, I'm going to explain my 4-point agenda for Oyo State. There are lots of plans, but all of these are embedded in my 4-point agenda, and you go on with all of this. So you're not diving, you did not start with the you didn't just start with telling them your solutions, right? So guys, in your manifesto, you need to be very creative. You need to convince them that, oh, you know what they are facing. Manifesto speeches appeals a lot to people's emotions because it is presumed that it is you speaking to people to convince them to do whatever or to support you. You need people's support, so you need to be very persuasive. If you are not persuasive, you have lost it. So I think this is basically what we're going to cover for today. And by tomorrow, Coach Chijoke is going to do justice to the remaining. If you are planning to miss tomorrow, you are not planning to be in the finals. You are not planning to win the voice competition. So guys, come prepared with your notepad to have a part 2 of today's training. I hope this training was worth your time. I hope you gained value. If you did, I want to see your comments after class today. And if you have questions, that's if we're going to take questions. I am here for you. Or if we can't take it on the show, you could drop your questions on the group. I will try my best to leave the voice notes before tomorrow's session. So, Value Mama, over to you. Yes, I'm done. And thank you guys for your time. I remain Gift Chiwedu Tazamu, also known as the public speaking guru. But I think Value Mama is having a little bit of network challenge.
My network is doing me dirty. Jesus.
It's so sad. You understand? This is Nigeria.
I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I have severally left this platform. I've been hearing you. That's the truth. I've been hearing every single thing you've been saying. But just a click, it will take me out. There'll be lags. I don't know. It's just terrible.
Oh, so sorry. But we are done for
guys.
yeah.
Thank you for staying. And this section, you people need this section. You will not understand until you start.
Yeah.
You will not understand until the program, the competition starts proper. And if I'm you, I will not just take this particular section for I will not just take this particular section for this competition. I will take it and apply it to every single thing I know about public speaking, because this is important for public speakers. I mean, she gave us a lot. So if you are Jotun, thank God for you. If you are not Jotun, I'm sorry for you, sincerely. Tomorrow's section is going to be another. Tomorrow's section, the guy coming, I don't know. I'm going to beg him, because if you leave that one, he can say 3 hours. I'm going to beg him because I know we need to prepare for the competition itself. But these things are actually very important. You paid for them, so you need to stay and get the value to the end. So, I mean, thank you so much, Gift, for this section. It was explicit, it was exhaustive, it was, guys, give me a word. Thank you so much for this section. It was nice. I really, really appreciate me. I got value from it. I don't know for others there. I got value from the section, and I'm glad I stayed from the beginning to the end. Regardless of this network stupid, this country is not for me. The Lord is speaking. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Gift, and I really, really appreciate. I hope we can drop our feedback on the comment section on WhatsApp. I noticed that your feedback is being seen on YouTube. I can see your feedback on YouTube, but then it's not showing on the platform we are using to do this, to stream this video to YouTube. So she can't see it, and I can't see it except I go on YouTube. So please bring those comments, bring them to the group chat. Tell me how the section was. Tell me, what did you learn? What was amazing about this section? Tell me, just tell us something that we want to hear. Tell us something we want to hear about this section. So I think that's basically it for now. The time lag in this video is one mad, another mad thing. Like, I mean, Gift, you're probably hearing me after 30 seconds, in fact. After 30 or one minute, you're hearing me after 1 minute. So, but then that's it for today. We are done for day one, and I'm so glad that people stayed through. At least we had up to 22 persons here out of the 36 that would start to speak for the competition. That's more than half. So I hope we'll get something beautiful as content during the competition proper, because if you are here, I don't expect anything less from you as a speaker in the contest. And even if you are not a speaker, I expect you to be able to have gone with one or two things that is going to help your public speaking career. So thank you so much for staying. You're just so sweet section now. We all rest. So good night, guys.